Live streaming is on.
Let's see if I can get my camera going here. Just a second. Let's see here. Settings. And I don't know. Here we go. Okay. And all right. It's not staying on. My camera is not staying on for some reason. Don't know what's going on with this camera. Just a second. Where is the settings? There we go. There we go. I don't know what's wrong with my camera, but I'm going to just go without the camera. So greetings and welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to attend the after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/S as in sunset, M as in Mary, F as in foxtrot. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunt Hangar, will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Understand that sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. Now, in order to make a comment on the chat box, you need to have a YouTube channel registration. And by the way, if you find these Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up. That's a like. And also subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the all notifications on the bell. And then also share these videos. That helps the channel grow. Please also consider joining our YouTube channel memberships, which start at only $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunt Hangar. And with your membership, you get special badges in the YouTube chat box, unlimited replay of member-only videos, and once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. You can also use the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box, to make your donations. And I want to also let you know that you need to come into a live broadcast or live stream for the super chat icon to be there so you can donate. So again, make a note. We do this every Monday and Friday at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so come in then and make your donations. And if it's not a good time, just close the stream and then come back and watch us at a more convenient time. Watch the replay. So with that all being said, I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. And also during our conversations, please keep it family room friendly. In other words, don't say words or do things that you wouldn't do in front of your children or grandchildren. And without that, let me click on the link, and I'm going to post the link in Stunt Hangar Forum. Oops, I made a mistake here. Let me fix this. That invitation is not complete. Just bear with me for a second here. I know there's no camera. So let's see here. Where is this? Oh, here is the problem. Okay. I can fix the camera. I see the error. There we go. How about that? Now you can see me, and let me fix the. Let me see here. Let's fix the. Just bear with me. Where is what I'm looking for? It's probably right in front of me. I'm trying to send out the invitation. That's what I'm looking for. Usually there's a. Where is that? That's not there. Let me try here. Under settings. Okay. That's. Huh. Where is that? I'm definitely going to edit this stuff out. Where is the thing? I don't. That is very interesting. Bear with me. I gotta post the link, and there's some additional information that the link needs to have so you can get in here with me. This is looking very peculiar. Normally it's here we go. This might be it. There we go. That's what I want. It was in a different location. You know, they change things without asking my permission first, you know? So here we go. Let me post this here. And, okay, so I'm posting the link now in Stunt Hangar. So that should show up. And so far we have 10 viewers, 5 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit the thumbs up in the YouTube channel, and that'll help us out. And there's no one in the chat yet, and there's no one in the here with me in this space. So let me move this over here. Okay, and then I can keep an eye on what's going on the YouTube chat. Okay, here comes my first guest here, Mark Lumen.
Is on.
Well, let me see if I get mine working now.
Yeah. I had the same problem. I did the monologue with my camera off.
Mine last week never would come on. I don't know what the story was. Let's try it again. Starting, stuck. Okay.
There you go. There you go, Mark. All right. Hey, well, thanks. I'm doing well. Thanks for coming in.
You bet.
I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Try not to make too much noise here. I'm just going to cut a piece of monocode here for a second.
All right. What plane you working on?
I'm still just repairing that original Magician. Yeah, I had a bunch of some broken hinges, so I went in and had to cut out the hinges and then redo the control surface. And I got one more to go. I'm slow this week. I've been real busy with our real large scale, normal size airplane runway we're putting in. So it's been a busy, hot week.
Very good. Well, you got to figure you was down for a while, so now that you're mobile, you got a lot to catch up on, right?
Yeah, I got to work. Yeah.
But I get the impression you really enjoy what you do too, though.
I do, brother. I really do. Yeah, it's it's something that I just, it's so diverse. I get to fly a lot of different things, go a lot of different places, and I just feel good at the end of the day. I'm getting to do my dream,
I bet. I mean, that's not even really work when you're doing what your dream is,
Yeah, it gets challenging at times, but it's very fun.
You get better. These challenges make you better and better and stronger, right?
Well, that's the truth. Yeah. Did you get to fly any this week?
I did. Actually, I flew today. Today was I think I must have flown at least 5, maybe 6 times today.
Very cool.
That was pretty good. A number of flights. I actually I'm flying this Chipmunk, and it has this OS Max 35S. It's my first 35S I've ever owned, and I didn't know it could turn an 11.5 prop. I've been using the 10.6 prop, and I had it all somewhat trimmed, but last week we had some pretty strong winds. Matter of fact, even this week we had some pretty strong winds, and that's when it kind of got exposed that the plane really wasn't that fun in wind, so I wanted to get a different trim setup, and I was talking to another friend of mine, and he suggested I try 11.5 prop. Yeah, and I was like, well, I didn't know if it would turn it, but yeah, it turned 11.5 prop with authority.
Wow.
But this 11.5 prop, the hub is a little bit thicker than the 10.6 prop, so I couldn't put the spinner on. It's an older, smaller motor. That crankshaft isn't that long, and so I didn't have the nose weight that I had before. So I'm flying it, and I'm doing the maneuvers, and the tail is dropping, and I'm like, "Well, what is that? That's weird." Then as I was flying, I realized, "Oh, it's tail heavy." So,
yeah, I remember you talking about the change in the CG and what was happening in the maneuvers and things like that.
Yeah, so I fixed all that out before, but changing the prop now
gave you
it changed everything else. So I took out some of the tail weight so that the tail wouldn't drop like it was. And then I'm flying it, and then during the figure eights, now mind you, I'm liking the additional authority I'm getting now with above 45 degrees and overhead. Additional authority, I love it. But it did some weird maneuvers, some weird things, quirks, right, doing the vertical 8. And so I thought, well, maybe I have too much tip weight. It's just like you like
one thing.
You like one thing, but it messes up something else. And it's just like, oh, all this back and forth.
Yeah, but I experienced kind of not a similar thing, but on that Profile Nobler, I hadn't flown in a week or so, but I put an 11.4 prop on it, and it's an India 35, which is not quite as powerful as your OS, But I noticed, because I'm starting to get a little more, I'll say, aggressive with some of the movements, like the wing over and stuff like that. But what I noticed was when I did a quick, just a boom, a snap to go vertical, it came in.
Oh, yes. That's uncomfortable.
I mean, it didn't come in a lot, but it was enough for the line to go a little stack and go, okay, let off. And I wonder if it was because of the 4 pitch versus like a 6 pitch.
Yeah, so the diameter stayed the same, or just the pitch changed?
No, it was a diameter and a pitch change. It was a longer and less pitch.
Now, this probably more than me. Now, would that be part of the gyroscopic precession of that prop? Being it's a bigger disc that you're turning and making it flip over, it's going to come into you because of that?
It could be, and that was just one. And I'm still so new at this, I mean, who knows? Because I haven't had those type of movements yet. It's always been just okay,
of course.
And I guess I was getting froggy and saying, okay, well, let me try this, And it was a little bit of wind, so there was probably some, coming on the upwind side, nice snap, it come up. We just got a nice little slack line, and like, okay.
Yeah. Now, when you did that, was you upwind starting that maneuver, or was you downwind?
Starting upwind.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. It's
those things where I think maybe probably it was just maybe underpitched a little bit. I don't know. Hey, Philip.
Hey, what got tore up?
Oh, nothing.
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 Hey, Phil, how you doing, Phil? And hey, Gary, thanks for coming in, you guys.
Yeah, doing great. Looks like I'm stuck, but anyway.
You're moving fine here. Did you get your hair done? Your hair looks a little different, Phil.
No, it's styled by hat. I went flying this morning and we got soaked.
So that's your hat hair?
We didn't get soaked. Yeah, this is hat hair.
Well, that's not too bad looking. I mean, Remember, the alternative is
Had hair there
Yeah,
myself
yeah,
today.
yeah. I don't have a pretty head, Charles. So I'm hoping that don't happen. But
I don't think that's going to happen. Because either turns gray or falls out. And in your case, it's
gray.
It's gray. Okay, either turns
It's
gray
gray.
or falls out. I can't tell that it's gray, but
yeah, it's there's a lot of gray there. No, I've said for years, my hair can turn any color it wants as long as it don't turn loose. I do not have a pretty head, so I've raced since I was 14 years old in go-karts and everything else, and I've wrecked everything I've ever raced sooner or later. And I don't have a pretty head. Even wearing good helmets, I don't have a pretty head. But anyway, I tell you what,
the inside,
just something you get used to if you race.
Yeah.
Do what?
The inside still stayed intact. So
What's on the inside?
Yeah.
I don't know that it was ever intact. I don't know. I must have been crazy. Some of the stuff I drove. If I had any sense, I wouldn't have driven it.
Hey, I was thinking about you this week. I was thinking about you this week, Philip. An old, it's good. It's a good thing. An old friend of mine. I had forgot about this. Yeah. Now this is kind of off subject, maybe too many people in here yet, but I'll be quick. Yeah. He was a lineman years and years ago, and I remember very vividly one day he went like this to me. Yeah. On his forearms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all I saw was black lines.
Yeah.
And I went,
yeah.
And this was many years ago. And I'm like, what in the world? He says, well, when you slide down a pole that's been climbed 50 times, you know, there ain't nothing to hold on to but splinters. Yeah.
The best thing to do if you fall, and it's against every reaction that you've got, is to push away.
That's what
push away from the darn thing, because that pole will eat you up. That pole will eat you up. I did that once, and after the once, I learned. Second time, I was only about 12 feet up, and I pushed away. Took me 3 days before I could walk good because I hurt both ankles. But at least I wasn't full of splinters second time. But the second time I went, that second time I fell, my climbers, all you got's a little blade about that long.
Yeah.
About 2 inches long that sticks into the pole. And one of them had broken. And I told the boss, either you get me another pair of climbers or I'm not climbing any more poles. He just looked at me right serious. He said, Philip, you're a senior. You're over the truck. You don't climb. You get them to climb. I said, then you better get me somebody that's willing to climb, because he will not even put climbers on. A week later, I had another partner. I had a great one. I'd been climbing for 20 years plus. Nobody ever told me I wasn't supposed to go to the pole. So anyway.
Well, anyway, it was just a thought that come in. So anyway,
I appreciate it. That's it's craziness. It's not the easiest life. The worst part of being a lineman, though, is 24/7 on call. I've gone out on Christmas Day. I missed my birthday party because of a knockdown. My wife threw me a surprise birthday party, and I got here as the last guest was leaving to go home. I've been at work 18 hours that day. Yeah.
Oh no!
On my birthday.
That'll do it.
Wow.
Oh, I'm telling you what. When they finally told me that I could retire, I had enough time in. I only had 28 years and 6 months in, but I had enough vacation and sick time built up to carry me over. And I asked the girl, I said, how much longer do I have to go till I can retire? She said, honey, you could have retired a year ago. I said,
very
I'm
good.
done.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So Phil, we was talking about trimming these airplanes, and I was talking to Mark about how I had my Chipmunk trimmed out with a 10.6 prop. It was flying pretty good, but then when I got in the wind, I didn't like the setup, so I was suggested I put a 11.5 prop on there. I did that. I wasn't sure it turned the prop, but it did, and the plane flew with better authority. But now the prop I put on there, because I couldn't fit the spinner on it, it was actually lighter up front, which made the plane even more tail heavy. And we just talked about how you're constantly stealing from from one part of the plane to another and having to borrow and
Yeah.
readjust this. It's a constant thing. I'm basically starting to retrim a plane that was already trimmed, but the trim it was in was only good for stunt having situation. It wasn't good for wind. So now I'm retrimming it the plane for wind. And I'm not talking about a lot of wind. I mean, today was, I don't know, maybe 6 mile an hour winds. Wasn't a lot. But before,
Yeah.
I didn't like flying it in wind. It got light above 45 degrees. But now it's doing much better, much more authority
Oh yeah.
above 45 degrees with the, it's a Zor 11.5 prop, so it's a pretty light prop,
That'll work.
but
That's a good prop.
It's just interesting how you have to constantly, fix.
If you fly that plane for 10 years, you're gonna buy you some modeling clays. My best suggestion.
I have some.
And well, use that to play with the weight. And I carry nose ring weights that goes on the propeller shaft.
Yeah, I have those too, but
And,
the crankshaft is so short. I mean, I can barely put the washer in the nut because the hub on 11.5 is much thicker than the hub on the 10.6. So I was going to ask
Zor's got a big hub.
about removing wood on the front of that or back, both sides of the hub to thin it down. What people thought about.
I don't see why you can't, but I've been told not to do it. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. I've never had too much experience with that. But you can get these, I don't know what to call them, but it's a bolt that reaches into the propeller.
Yeah, prop
goes
extensions.
into the prop. And I have some of those, and that's what I'm using. John's here; he'll know what it is.
Yeah, I have those prop extensions.
But they're like the same piece comes on an old Fox extension shaft, and it goes through the prop and extends into that extension shaft. If you got the short hub, you can just use that with a washer, ream the washer out, fit it, and then put. I even got one of my prop weights, so it goes through the prop weight, and then that's how I make the Pathfinder I'm flying. It's what's on the front of it. It's a little tail, and it's I've got weight on the spinner, on the inside spinner, and with a metal spinner and a prop weight and a lightweight propeller, it worked out beautiful. The thing turns great. It's one of the best turning planes I've ever had. But you're going to be changing weights. You're going to be putting a dab of clay on the tail, dab of clay on the nose, changing your elevator. If you can change the elevator heights, once you get one that you can change adjustable elevator throw, you'll be changing that. You'll want to change the push rod length to get it right, because once you move it up or down in the arc, push rod length now is either too long or too short. Your flap and elevator may not be together, so you need to make push rod adjustable too. Once you do that, you're always tweaking. In the spring, you give it more elevator. In the midsummer, you give it less elevator, more flap, because air gets thinner. And then in the fall, you're going to want more elevator again. And play with nose weight. Play with it. It's anybody tells you that they've got a plane, that they've flown it just like that for any length of time, 2 years or something, and they've never changed anything, that's not a competitive flyer.
Yeah, well, I've never done that.
It's just not.
I'm always adjusting the plane. I always want more.
Fiddling and tinkering.
I can find better performance. The plane's easier to fly. To me, it's like, why wouldn't you not want that?
You'll be a good stunt pilot.
Yeah.
You'll be a good stunt pilot.
Exactly.
These guys that tell me you don't have to, I don't know what they're thinking. I'm Nirvana, so I don't know. I have no experience with it. I'm always adjusting something, seems like. But now I do wonder about these guys that go out and they'll set their needle valve with a tack and they get it just where they want it. They go up and tell me, I want to fly a 525 lap. Let me adjust your needle. And I get it, and they take a flight, turn their needle up or down, and I use my tack, set it. They hit a 525 lap. How you like that? That was perfect. Okay, you're set. I go sit in the chair. They go up there the next time and crank the motor. First thing you do is twiddle that needle out. I'm sitting there, my goodness.
Yeah, we just said it.
Once I get my needle valve set, unless the weather is changing, unless the air is changing, and today we had a storm front, so every time you had to tack it every flight. But unless the air is changing, I don't touch that needle. I might
Right.
check it with a tack every flight, but most times I never have to. I never need it. You go in the morning, and once you get it set, and once you get a 525 lap, most time you don't touch it again that day. But like weather like today, now every 10 minutes it seemed like everybody that flew every flight we had to check a needle valve. That's one of the things that's really like you just the battery in it, push the button and go fly. But this Pathfinder's a Tiger 51, and it's. But I still say the 46 OS 46 LA is probably the best all-around motor I've ever flown, sport motor I've ever flown. They just work. They work.
They are. I have both motors, and I like them both. They're really good. Let me catch up on the chat box, you guys.
Well, I like them both. The only thing okay.
Christopher Everson says, "Good evening, all," and then he goes on to say, "They make weights that are threaded that hold your prop on." Okay, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
they do.
ones that are threaded.
Harry's Heavy Hub.
Oh yes. That's those come so heavy. I wish they had incremental, because all the Higley
Me
ones
too.
I've seen, they just get heavy. They just like, it's aluminum and then brass, and that's about it. Not much variation between those two. And then Alexander III, he says, "Good evening, Charles, and all on here. I just want to thank you all for the help finding the plan that I was looking for. I am really grateful. Greetings as normal from Scotland." Well, you're most welcome, Alexander III. I know that John Miller had a part to do with that, so that's fantastic. That's what we're here for. Hey, John, I was listening to a Wendy Ranowski video, and he was talking about glow plugs, and he mentioned that if you have a lower compression engine, you want a hotter plug. And I was thinking about our Stalkers, and then also my K77. Those are kind of high compression engines. I've never tried a cold glow plug. Have you ever tried the cooler or cold glow plugs?
No, I used to use this Thunder. What is it? Thunder. What is that? Thunder.
The Thunderbolts?
So,
Yeah, Thunderbolt.
Yeah, which was a hot plug, right?
Lungs, yeah.
Hey, Denny.
Yeah. Hi, Denny.
So I went ahead and ordered three A5 OS Max A5 props. They're cold glow plugs, and I'm looking forward to trying it out because the Stalker is a high compression motor. And
yeah,
so I'm really, I was wondering if you have tried them. So I'll let you know, because we're using no nitro, and our engines are high compression. Those Stalkers are high compression. Some people take the compression out by putting shims in it, but
the OSs are high compression engines. The engines are high compression. They're all designed to run on 0%. A lot of the European engines
no nitro
run just fine, and they're designed to run on 0. So I think you notice a lot of guys are putting extra, like you said, extra head gaskets on to lower the compression for running nitro. Whatever floats your boat. I kind of like the cheaper fuel, the 0% API fuel.
Me too.
I love that too. I mean, fuel goes a lot further, and it's less expensive. When you can find FIA fuel, it's the cheapest fuel you can get.
Well, you can make it up real easy too.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, guys.
Yes. Hey, Lynn, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, Charles?
Doing well. Doing
Good
well.
stuff. Hey, guys.
Yeah, so when I get the
Lynn,
plug,
how are you?
when I was flying my K77, I was experiencing pre-ignition constantly.
Yeah.
So if I would have known that a cold plug would have fixed it, I would have been way down the road from where I'm at now.
Well, Denny would probably be able to answer the question better on cold, because I've never used cold plugs, and I've had, like I say, excellent results with my Stalkers running the Thunderbolt plugs. I'm trying to remember what the main uses for a colder plug is. Denny, would that be like combat or something like that for the colder plug?
you say Denny or Lenny?
Denny.
Whoever's
Either.
using
Denny.
Nitro. So I think a lot of the combat events even now are Nitro limited. I think they're speed limit. I think they're using 10% and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe the pylon racing or somebody like that. It's using high nitro.
Yeah, I would have
Even
said
then, I think
racing.
even big pylon is Formula One pylon. I think is pretty scarce anymore to run in the Euro spec airplanes that FAI fuel and whatever. So, but yeah, cold plugs are supposed to be good with high nitro and high compression. Supposed to be, and I honestly do not have any really good hands-on experience to tell you, that I can share. So,
All right. Well, I'll share when I get a chance to. When I get those plugs in, I'll try it. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe. All right. We'll see. Hopefully it is a benefit. Hopefully I didn't just waste some money.
that's it.
Yeah.
Phil, on your Pathfinder, have you thought about running?
Yes, sir.
Have you thought about running a side exhaust stalker, a 51? They make them,
Well, I thought about it, and yeah, but that particular Pathfinder is a practice airplane. I didn't build it, so I can't fly it in contest. It's just a go out there and knock around airplane. So,
Well,
not with it flies so well. But I'm telling you what, it's really going a long way toward pushing the LE to the top of the stack as far as when it's going to get built. It does fly so well, and it just such a big darn airplane. You just can't believe it can do what it does.
But Gordon will be
it's a lot
real
of fun to
happy
fly.
to hear that from you.
4 ounces. I'm really enjoying his airplane. He did a good job. Mine has the sheeted leading edge, and the one that I'm playing with downstairs right now is the I-beam. But I'm thinking about putting an Elliott wing in it.
Well, the I-beam one is kind of a rare one. There was only 200 kits made of that one. But we had trouble with a couple of I-beam failures in the flight, and so that's why the Mark II is a little shorter wing and has a C-tube wing on it. Is that I-beam?
Well, I thought about doing that,
Go ahead.
This one, mine has a carbon fiber. It's 2 pieces of 1/8 inch with carbon fiber in between it. And then I thought if I do that, and then I don't know how to say this, but build up, I'm gonna put a piece between, rib to rib, and your beam is down here, and sheeting the leading edge. I know that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the I-beam and puts more wood in there and adds weight, but it'll also transfer more of that load to the skin of the plane, which is where it needs to be.
Right.
So I think I might just do that, add a little weight, but add a lot of strength.
Well, you have more. So you'll have a bigger wing. You'll have a bigger wing to carry that weight.
Go ahead.
So you'll have more wing area to carry that weight with that particular one.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm going to try it and just see what happens. But
you got to keep it
it's going to be a fuel. Oh yes.
Good.
I've been flying my little humbug, and everybody says, "Oh, the trike gear is a lot of headaches," but it is different. It's very different turn, but I really like it. I mean, I still bring it in and flare it and land on 2 wheels anyway, and the front end falls down. So it's not a problem for me. It has not been a problem for me so far. I today landed 3 times and tail wheels touch first on a tail dragger. So I don't know where that came from. I've developed two things I can't figure out what I've done. I'm landing with the tail first, so I'm stalling the plane too darn much. And the other thing is I've got to where when I go inverted after the wing over, I'm laying my hand over. I've never done that. But when you do that, the plane hunts. The plane wants to try to hunt. And it's because everybody says, well, I tried to explain to the fellows at the field, I said, if you got your hand up there, you're flying that plane, and you lay your hand over, and you're flying that plane inverted, now if you don't keep your hand with that airplane, it's going to move. The plane's going to move up and down. And everybody said, no. One of the guys want to know, well, how can it do that? I said, well, if you don't believe it, fly your plane like we fly. You got your hand straight out in front of you, looking down the road. Raise your hand. The plane goes up, down, see what happens. The plane comes down. Well, if you lay your hand over on the side and you fly like that, unless you stay perfectly with that airplane, it's going to move. And it did. I don't know how I got in that habit. I've always straight. But I'm going to go out there. I got a piece of rod downstairs I'm going to take out there tomorrow and just carry it with me. And when I go inverted, put that rod in my hand so I can't put my hand the other way. And if I can hold it, it's because it weighs about 6 pounds. And fly, I'm going to try to hold that until I get my hand where I can leave it straight up and down. I don't know how I got into that. I've never done it before, but I caught myself doing it last time I went, and I did it again today. And just, I don't know how I got into laying my hand over. That's crazy.
Completely over or just a little
I tell you
bit
this,
over?
don't do it.
What, Lynn?
Oh, I just asked him if he was laying his hand completely over or just a little bit.
Wait, I had my hand just flat.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, all you got to do to illustrate that is
Quite a bit.
Hand that way.
I used to.
Stop rotating for just a second. The airplane will either climb or dive, depending which way you got your hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's
Another way to say it is that
I can't figure out how
if the plane gets ahead of you or behind you, you're putting input in it when you lay your hand down. And I have a similar experience when I go over the top and do the reverse wing over. If I don't stay with the plane, I can put input in it because the plane got ahead of me or it's behind me. So it's a similar thing when you go over the top.
Yeah.
You get that little wiggle up the top, and you get scored
so
down.
What I did is actually laid my hand on my side, going up over the top.
That's better.
To prevent that issue of the plane getting ahead of me.
I do something similar. Yeah, I do something similar, but I plant myself to where I'm going to make my climb on my left side, and I'll come to there and I'll hit it, and then I'll go up and I actually turn my hand this way. And so I go up over it that way, come down, and here I turn my hand, get it straight up and down, and then I'll hit down there to get the reverse wing over. And I don't get that little wiggle up on the top that way. It's just up and over, turn it down. There you go.
Right. Hey, Carl, thanks for coming in. I know we flew all day or most of the morning, and we had a good day today. We didn't have any crashes or anything, and it was 3 of us. It was Carl, Joe Mata, and myself, and so he's out flying today. And we got his Inya 35 running.
Yeah, you did
on the test stand.
Test stand, yeah. Yeah, we had a good day today. Wasn't a perfect day, but it was a good day because no one crashed. So
yeah.
Somebody didn't have his mic on there.
Who was that? Oh, Bill.
That was me.
Okay.
I was watching Lynn's eyebrows when the word Inya come up, and the word, the one with
you guys know how much I love it.
Well, that engine ran so good. I told Carl, "You want to sell to me?" And I told him, "No, I'm not going to buy it because he's like having 2 engines, and I don't want to spend that much money to have 2 engines." But his Inya runs really nice, really sweet.
Yeah, well, the reason why I bought that Inya is because I had an old one that anyway, someone broke the con rod on it, but the case fit perfectly in the aircraft I needed it for, other than moving the front hole on top and the front hole on the bottom, so it's really easy to fit it in. All the other engines I tried to fit in were either too small or too big, but the 5424 case fit perfect, so that's the reason why I went with an Inya. And that way I wouldn't have to rebuild and butcher up the front end of the plane.
Oh, yeah,
So.
yeah.
Now I do have 2 Inya 40s.
Yeah, one of my buddies come up. Yeah,
A 40, huh?
they're good plane, good motors. Go ahead, Charles.
No, I was just saying that I do have a couple Inyas that I own personally, but I really haven't used them very much because I just been so happy with the LA 46. You know,
Well, I had.
Yeah.
Well, this is my third Inya that I own. I own 2 of them. One was a 35 54 24. Another one was a 29. I think it had a ball bearing on the front, but they were the ones with the black squared ventures on the intake. But this one here is a round, so I don't know which one. I don't know if the blacks were the earlier models or if the rounds were the latest model. I just don't know.
The square was the older one.
Yeah, okay. But they wanted the square. They both ran fine. I love that Unit 29, and then somehow it disappeared, and I can't find another one like it. So anyway,
Enya 29 was my first motor.
was that the number 4 with the ball bearing on the front end?
No, it was just a standard one, 5224 Enya 29 with a square venturi.
And then it didn't have a VI or IV on them?
On the case, no.
Okay.
What are you showing there, John? Magnum XLS?
Magnum XLS. Really good stunt engine. I'm going to try to flip my picture here because I
What
can't
size?
seem to do it. All right.
Why do you want to be on your side?
No, flip it. See what you see. What you see here. This is like looking in mirrors. That's why the writing is backwards. See?
No, it looks fine when we see it.
Oh, yeah. What's Magnum XLS?
John, it looks perfect.
The XLS is right.
Yeah.
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 It looks
It isn't here.
Yeah,
Those are good motors. Those are good motors.
Oh yeah. This comes from the estate of Jerry Price. Anybody remember him?
No.
Real good stunt guy from. Well, it's. I don't think it's been run more than maybe 1 or 2 runs just to see how it runs. And I mean, it's got a nice muffler. It's not too big, not too small, you know. But
Okay.
probably wouldn't
that's
use.
nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's let me see this engine. I'm really impressed with it.
What size is that motor again? And you might have said it. I'm sorry. What's the displacement?
I'm sorry, I didn't say it. It's a 36 bit.
Oh,
36.
I remember Phil Grandison used to use that, but he would hop it up and almost invest as much in it as you would spend for a really high shelf stunt engine. But
Yeah,
in the
A
article,
real stunt motor. I hear you.
but it made a real stunt engine out of it.
Yeah.
Actually,
It did.
stock like this, it is a pretty darn decent stunt engine just as it comes. It's a matter of getting the venturi right.
Yeah, I have a small. I think I have a 25 XLS.
Those are good. Okay, here's the engine. If I can get it up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got the dual ball bearings.
Right. Yeah.
This is a custom
Venturi.
Venturi. Actually, you'll see he's got it shaped like
Yeah,
it,
I
but
see the.
it's off.
Yeah. You know, on another
And
video of Wendy, he was talking about the advantages of tall Venturis too, or how it would soften the brake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I really like the cylinder head, the way it's shaped.
Yeah, it's
You know.
nice.
So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
picked it up yesterday, and it'll probably be my last IC engine. I've got enough now to do anything I want to do with classic and old time. I'm using one of these on the what is it? The twin boomer, the Sheik's twin boomer. Name escapes me from it. What was the one that Warnholt flew? Dennis. He got disqualified. He was in first place.
The Torino.
Somebody remembered the
Mosquito?
Vornholt said Torino. Yeah.
Oh, Torino?
Yeah.
Torino?
Yeah.
Marino.
Yeah.
What did he get disqualified for?
Vaughn,
Why did he did?
I don't know what happened to John.
We lost him.
I don't know what happened, but But I didn't
apparently the story.
yeah, get any of that.
He'll be there.
Okay, well, Bornholtz crashed his airplane about a week and a half, 2 weeks before the Nats. And he went over to Jack Sheik's place, and he, I'm changing my video quality so I don't.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, went over there, and Jack had the Torino all framed up and hanging on the wall. You know, he hadn't finished it. And Jack, you know, he says, "Hey, Jack, you never finished that. Do you mind if I take it and finish it?" You know, so he took it, finished it, entered it in that, but he didn't. He flew. Apparently, as I understand it, he was in first place. And if somebody remembered, hey, I remember seeing that airplane, you know, in the bare bones over at Jack's house. You didn't build that, did you? And no, I finished it, you know. And so he got knocked down. They took all the appearance points and all that away from him, and let him stand in there. Were you there, Denny, at that one?
Yes.
Is that about what happened?
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I remember it. You know, and he was in first place, and I want to say he ended up sixth place or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
A pretty doggone good effort with no appearance points back in that era. That was still a 40-point, schedule. So
wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I do remember watching that Torino fly, and I thought it was one of the slickest, smoothest airplanes I'd ever seen. Always liked that. So when John built his, and I've only seen it in pictures, but man, he made that thing glow in the dark too, with all of that metallic finish and everything like that. I'll bet that thing really popped in the sun.
It did. But what it looked like when you're flying it, because the fuselage and the booms are so skinny, it looked like a toothpick, a black toothpick, because the fuselage is black or dark blue. Looked like a black toothpick with fins. 57 Chevrolet, or no, what was a Chrysler one that had the fins?
Does anybody have a picture of that?
I got one somewhere.
You got one once you go
300.
find yours.
I gotta look for it. I'm not sure where I got it.
I'll tell you what, I'll look for mine and see.
Yeah.
I'll be keeping quiet here while I look.
Right.
Though. I know you guys just hate it when I keep quiet.
Me too.
Has anybody heard about Jim?
Jim who?
Jim, is this Jim Leach? Is that his name?
Jim Lee?
Down in Florida. It works with
Jim Lynch?
Smith.
Oh, no. Jim Lynch is Jim Smith.
Jim Smith.
Okay.
Handles and he ordered all the carbon for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Know what happened?
What happened?
I don't know. Someone said, yeah, I think Sparky said something about pray for him. So I didn't hear. He didn't say
What
what
happened?
was wrong. So,
And hadn't heard anything.
okay. So I don't.
We may have to
Maybe someone else.
get in touch
know.
with Jim. I mean, with Sparky.
Yeah.
I hope he's all right.
So,
Yep.
Okay. Success.
What was that, Mark?
Oh, I said success. I've been trying to line the line the elevator and stabilize. I've been trying to line it up for the past couple of weeks.
Right. Oh yeah, with the sticks. Yeah, very good idea.
I mean, just getting it to line front and back. You know, it's
Right.
If it's a
Yeah.
millimeter off
Looks like
my
you
brain,
got it.
if it's a millimeter off, my brain goes into park and has to redo it.
Well, that's good to be that exact. Exactly.
Hey, you must be Charles's brother. That's the way he is when he goes out in the field.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Carl and
Oh,
Joe know me very well.
Oh.
I'm always fooling around, making sure things are right all the time.
That's right.
Good
Guys,
way to be.
they-
Good way to be,
I think we
Charles.
want to.
You'll lose a lot less airplanes if you're
Yeah, people want.
always
Yeah.
checking and double checking.
Yeah, speaking from experience. Everybody wants to razz because everybody wants to razz the people that check and recheck and recheck, you know. But they're the ones that are always flying the same airplanes because they still have them.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't lose them to something stupid.
That's right.
They rag me every time we go out because every flight before I'll signal for launch, I'll check it up and down.
Oh yeah.
Why do you check that every time? Because I had somebody just for a joke reverse my lines one time while I was
Oh, man, that's
doing
not funny.
something else. And I went out and checked it, and they're reversed, and I just
That
had
is not funny.
no, I didn't think so either. So
That is not
So-
funny.
You know,
he
if,
don't fly with us anymore.
if anything
His
that
idea
I,
of fun was not mine. So we don't.
if anything, I'm real anal about checking my lines
ahead.
before flight and after every flight. I always run the lines out. Even if it's sitting on the ground, I'm always double checking, triple checking the lines,
Mhm.
make sure the handles, make sure the strap is open up wide enough.
I always like, every time I go flying, I like to do a visual of the ends of the lines. That's
Yeah.
what I try to do.
Yeah.
Because
Why do
if they're
I
gonna
do that-
go, generally
Yeah, me
that's
too.
where they're gonna go, is right at the wraps or at the crimps, depending on what you have. That's where it's usually gonna go. Because when you run your lines out, you'll feel if there's any kinks or anything like that.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
you won't see unless you
Yeah.
really examine the ends, and that's where they go.
Well, see, that's what happened to me the day after one of my flights when I was trying to get the plane dialed in. I came in for a landing and I just happened to look
Hey,
at the
Tom.
handle and I saw the line start to unravel and I go, I'm done.
Fray. Yeah, once
I'm
they
done.
fray, that's it. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey Tom, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Charles.
yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, we had
Good to see you, buddy.
43 degrees today, and
Ooh.
we had 9 of the
53.
last 10 days it rained.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not been very good weather here.
No.
Well, it rained. It rained. It was about. Let me see. What was our? Well, I was going to see what our temperature was today, but I don't know. Yeah, not paying attention to me. Anyway, it was hot. We were hot. And if we weren't 90, we were close to it.
Yeah.
And 43. Good grief.
Yes.
Send
I'm
some
for
of
it being
that
a little.
heat up
Tell you
here.
what.
Well,
We're 10 degrees. You give us 10 degrees.
where do you live, Tom?
I'm
Minnesota.
much happier at 73. Well, 83.
Ooh, here's a Torino.
Did somebody find the Torino?
Yeah, I see the Torino. Nice. Well, that is good looking.
Oh my goodness,
That's
that
it.
is good looking. I've never seen that.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Where
wow,
would you
that is
find
a
plans
sharp
to that?
airplane. Woohoo.
I like-
I like
Hey,
it.
John, so how was
Where did you
the
find plans to that? It must be a Sheik's design.
It's a Sheik's design.
That's beautiful.
how was the control system set
Very
up
sharp.
to get the staff in the elevator to move?
Well, it's supposed to be a extension, you know, and the flaps go out to, and there's a horn on each of the booms that goes back and catches both ends of the elevator. But what I did is I used carbon rods there and just went down the outboard boom and connected to the elevator back there. The plans were wrong. When I saw Jack there, I said, Jack, you know, this plane didn't have much turn until I put about another, I increased the cord on the elevator. He said, yeah, that's what we had to do too. So I drew the plans up. I was just trying to find the plans. I was going to, when I drew the plans up, I've got them all in CAD. I extended the elevator so that wouldn't happen again. I can show you the original. I can show you that airplane. I have it here. Hold on a minute.
Wow. I love how sleek that
That's
fuselage is.
I like that. I bet he's right though. I bet that sucker looks like you're flying a yardstick or something. A little dart
Yeah.
with that big spinner on it.
It's a pretty handle.
Oh, that's a pretty handle. My word.
Nice. Is that ever awesome? Whose is that? Dennis?
I think
Yeah, I'm the one sharing, but this is John's handle that he used for the Torino. I guess
That
that's
is
the only way you
beautiful.
can get it to fly
Wow.
right. So,
that's that's a Ted Fancher handle too. Looks like.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I love that paint job.
That's really pretty.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared to wonder what kind of clothes John was wearing when he flew that thing too.
You got to have a tie-dye shirt to fly that.
There you go.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I thought so. John
Oh,
didn't
no,
get to
that's
see
pretty.
that. Oh well. Hi, Tom.
Well, I got some clarification. It's Jim
That's-
Lynch. According to Christopher Everson, he says that was Jim Lynch. So I don't know what the circumstances are around Jim Lynch, but
Prayers, huh?
definitely keep him in our thoughts and prayers.
Definitely. He's a great guy.
He's an awesome guy.
You show up at his
Dusted
house.
it off.
You show
There
up
it
at his
is.
house and he treats you like family.
Wow, that is nice,
That is
John.
beautiful.
It's not a small airplane either.
No.
You know,
Oh, wow.
What motors in that thing, John?
Magnum XLS
A V8.
36.
Wow.
I broke the rear rudder here when I moved into the house. You see that?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I gotta glue that back together. But that's it's never had any flying damage. It's interesting. The paint here. It's it was done. You know, it was filled. Excuse me, filled and all that. It's got I'm having a rough time with where it's not silk span. It's the poly span, and
Okay.
it's sealed with dope, of course, and then this all the color is rattle can. I believe it was car. You know, I went into Napa and looked at their rattle cans, and I picked out the colors. These are all automotive colors, and then it was it was clear coated with clear dough. And there's, I like,
So
I
the
like,
clear?
yeah, it's clear dough. Look at the simulated gear.
Sharp.
Oh, very nice.
Oh yeah.
That is
Oh,
nice,
I like
John.
that. Oh, that's very good, John.
That's nice.
So yeah, it's a good airplane. I just got to fix it, and then the problem is I built the flap horns, and I used the wrong solder. And they got soft, and I think they're off. I'm gonna have to go in and I don't know. They're working. Yeah, they're working okay. But I'm afraid that they'll slip again, and I don't want that to happen and lose the airplane. So
Of course.
it's fun to build.
That's cool.
Put it back here. There. So yeah, I've got, like I say, I've got the plans in CAD. Interesting thing, I had the ribs CAD cut or laser cut. That was a mistake. It's so easy to make a ribs, one of those little rib guides and just use your back.
Rib slicer.
Yeah, rib slicer. Just slice them and you can make those ribs so fast like that I would, because it costs, every cut you make with a laser, it costs.
For sure. Here comes Peter.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter.
Hi,
Hey,
Peter.
What did you call it? What did you say that plane's name was again?
Torino.
Torino.
Torino. It's like the Ford Torino.
Like the car?
Yeah, like the car.
I hate to bug you for a set of those plans later on.
Yeah, no problem.
Once I get where I got some room to build something else. That's sharp looking airplane.
Yeah, it's you'll find when you build it and you fly it, it's going to be a little unnerving because it really looks skinny out there. It looks like a toothpick with fins, But it's real easy to drop circles and maneuvers on the sky because it's so thin. It's like a pencil,
Right.
Yeah. Good looking airplane.
Yeah, it's got a slightly rear swept trailing edge, and so I used lucky boxes where I hooked up the controls.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, you getting any airplanes
I like your
painted?
paint job.
Thank you. There it is.
I'm trying.
Good stuff.
There it is.
There it is. That's when I
That's
drew
pretty.
it. When
That's
I drew
pretty.
it, I just extended the
I
wings.
don't know how to.
Oh, there it is. There's the one Vornholz
that's.
flew
Uh-huh.
at the
Wow.
NAT. Notice
I
the
tell you what.
wing.
Now you're making me wish I was on my. Now you're making me wish I was on my iPad so I could take pictures of some of this stuff. I don't know how to do it on the computer yet.
You just
But
right click.
that's really pretty.
Yeah.
Right click on your screen. Right click on your screen, and it'll say
Very
screenshot.
cool.
Uh huh. All right. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Inspect. Create. Cast. Print. Here we go. Maybe this is it. Okay. I may have to get you to do that again another night, John. This is.
Oh, I'm not
Mine, all
doing this. I think this is Denny. Denny, are you doing this?
Every time I try to do something, what it's doing. Yeah,
That's a
I've got a
lot
white
of
screen right now. It's
It don't. You could sit down and watch a couple of TV
It is a lot of
programs and
ribs.
cut all those ribs out easy.
There's a question on the chat, John. It says, are these plans available?
that's true. That's what I did.
Oh yeah, they're available.
And is it an I-beam wing? Is the other
It
question.
is an I-beamer.
It
All right,
is.
there you go, Christopher.
Oh yeah.
Very pretty. Hold that up there for a second. I want to see where the push rod comes out to go to the tail. Where's the push rod that goes to the tail? Oh, it's on the outboard flap, is it?
It's on both the inboard and the outboard.
Oh, so they both have a push rod.
Right. But what I did is I used on the outboard, I used a round carbon fiber dowel,
Well.
a round tube on the, and then on the elevator, I made the elevator about a half an inch to 3/4 inch greater, cord on it. But on the elevator, I used a carbon fiber tube on the leading edge of the elevator as well, and I just ran it down the outboard tube.
Okay.
I did a twin boomer where I did everything down the inboard tube.
Oh my word!
It took like an ounce and a half of lead to to get it to balance, because I also put the belt crank in line with the inboard boom, right, and all the way to the whole control system on the inboard wing. Dumb.
Okay. Huh.
Very
Some of
nice.
those pictures on that article.
That is sweet, though.
Some of the pictures on that article are worth seeing again, if you wouldn't mind. There's the first page.
Yeah.
You can go to I think go to Outer Zone and download the article and the magazine plan if you want to study that. But there's some pictures that he's got in here, like that's the one that went to the Nat. There's some pictures that he's got in here of the actual airplane, and color pictures. But it's a very interesting plane to fly.
I bet it is. That's pretty.
Very sharp.
That is really pretty.
But yeah, if anybody's interested in the plans, I've got them available, and just a little quick advertisement.
I am.
I sell the plans for whatever you think it's worth. I'll send it to you, and you look them over and you decide. I mean, if you don't have any money, that's fine. You know, if you think it's worth $10 or $25, you know, that's fine. I'm too old to get too worried about it right now.
John, would it be possible
Yeah, but you also have
a short kit of it? You know, the wood parts, the fuselage parts, and stuff like that, or
yeah, it's possible. It's possible. You know, the files are there. That's what I did. I had RSM cut it when Eric was there. At that time, the RSM had the short cutter, laser cutter, and so I had to glue together the booms and all that. Now RSM has a bigger bed. Let's see, Walter has the bigger bed. You know, so even Brodak has a bigger bed. Brodak will cut it for me, or Walter will cut it for me without a problem.
Good stuff. Fantastic. Hey, Steve, thanks for coming in.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't know if you guys saw me.
Hi, Steve.
Hey.
I don't know if you guys saw me fighting with this tube. I ordered some.
If you have some cut, let me know.
All right.
I ordered some Kevlar from Simple Composites, right? So I was going to open it up and just look at it for the hinges and stuff like that. Well, I opened the end of the tube.
Oh, empty?
And it's empty.
Oh no!
Oh no!
But I think they wrapped it around the outside of the tube.
Oh.
They asked me if I wanted it rolled in a tube. I said, well, yeah, sure, of course. It may be in here. I don't know.
Interesting.
Jesus.
Maybe they were using the Kevlar to protect the cardboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be it?
Not too hard because They've got it taped up, and that's where I need plastic explosives to get through the.
You don't want to cut your carbon fiber.
Exactly. Yep, there it is. Okay. Oh.
That's interesting.
Golly day.
There it is.
Oh,
That's
okay.
pretty smart of them.
I'll be darned.
I don't know. Maybe it's so thin it wouldn't roll. I don't know.
Well, maybe
moly.
it was to keep from squashing down too much, but make it too tight a roll.
That's probably true. Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
that's carbon fiber?
No, it's Kevlar.
Oh, Kevlar. Excuse me. All right. I was wondering about the color.
I wanted to make some of the hinges, like Tryon had.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anybody wants into this, it looks like I have a lifetime supply of hinges. So let me know.
I'm gonna try to order.
Cool.
Yeah, I would like some of that. Are you going to do the full span?
Try to order some. I'll buy some from you.
How many yards you get, Mark?
I think 2 yards and it's 34 inches long. So yeah. So there's plenty.
Wow.
I'm not gonna do the full
That's
span.
a lifetime.
Exactly. I'll hinge up the. That's what I was
Wow.
going to use. I'll hinge up these since the hinges are broken anyway. I'll practice on this one. Yeah.
Good idea.
And I want to use this on the Vector. Instead of the CA hinges that came with the Vector, I want to use the Kevlar hinges, but I want to practice a little bit first.
I don't blame you. That's a good idea.
It's
That's a great idea.
The hinges seem like they're great, but Right. Okay, well the mystery's solved now. They sent it.
Yeah.
They're on the outside. This is the inside.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have a little update on the chat box. Christopher Everson has a question or maybe a comment. Looking at the plans from Outer Zone on the Torino, I guess that's a statement. So I guess he's looking at them. I guess there's some available on AutoZone.
Yeah, that's the magazine plan.
Did you redraw the plans?
John's. It's been corrected.
I redrew them in CAD so that I could have the CAD files to laser cut with.
Okay. So Christopher Everson, if you want to get what John has, that way they can be laser cut easier, I should say.
And what's the difference on the size of the elevator? Is different on your plan?
It's about anywhere between a half to 3/4 of an inch. Let's see if I got something to measure here with.
The CAD guy doesn't own a ruler.
I got one.
The computer does that for you.
Yeah,
That's right. We need a ruler
very
for it.
accurately.
That's it. Hey, Peter, give that to John, will you? Hand that to John. Hey, John, reach down and grab it.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. You got the right kind.
That's it.
Yeah.
Circle gets the square.
Well, the elevator is 2.5 inches. Cord on the elevator. 2.5 inches.
2.5 inches. Okay. Okay.
And I think on the original drawing, it's like 1.5 or something like that. It was just too small. It wouldn't snap, on a square. But so, and I had, I believe it was Bart Klipinski put the maiden flight on it because I wanted somebody that could evaluate some things because I knew I might have to make some changes. And that was the first thing he said, you need more elevator. and like I say, it was real funny when Jack showed up there. I said, hey, Jack, here's my Torino. Oh, he said, looks good, John. I said, I had to make the cord, a lot wider. And he looked at it and said, yeah, that's about what we had to do.
Well, that's the funny thing. If you look at the,
I don't know why it wasn't in the article.
John, if you look at the, Bornholt's airplane and that picture and everything like that, it looks like the plan to me.
I know it does.
So
But
I wonder if it's a matter of just balancing.
I've got if I remember correct, well, it may have changed when I put no, I was running a Fox 35 on it when we at first, and I had too big an opening on the front, and I couldn't get any cooling to the engine because too big a hole on the front, and too little a hole on the back. So I had to close that in and narrow up the opening, and to keep the engine running right. And later, I think it was the next year. I think I brought it the next year, yeah. And we put the Magnum 36 on it, and that was so sweet. But I didn't notice a whole lot a different feeling, though I'm sure it was more nose heavy with the Magnum on it.
Yeah, and then the other thing I was going to say is, talking to Jim and to Jack, they both said that Jim always liked airplanes that were really nose heavy.
Did he?
So equate that to a very heavy feel on the elevator and everything like that. So it could be that, unless you like that yourself or something like that, you might have thought, oh my gosh, it won't go anywhere. And maybe it could have been something like that. In effect, you could have been trimming it for your own taste or something like that. So I'm pretty sure the original was built with an Enya 35 without a muffler, but that's about a 7-ounce motor.
Right.
So probably about the same as a Fox with a tongue muffler, or what, I don't know what the Magnum weighs. But
I don't either.
Yeah, those might, with mufflers, either one of those might be heavier than the Enya. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I know I'm pretty sure when I first flew it, I haven't checked it lately. When I first flew it, I'm pretty sure I had the CG right where it's marked on the plans, but that isn't necessarily always going to be the best place to have it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to experiment with that. But it flew so nice for me, the way it was. So I didn't feel like, I was doing the full pattern and wasn't doing a bad job. I don't know, were you at the VSC that I first took it to?
Okay. I'm going to steal the screen one more time here. Okay, we got that? Got the Torino up again there?
Yes,
Now, it's going to take a look at another airplane Jack published almost the same time.
There we go.
The Scotsman?
The Scotsman, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you compared the wing to this, between the Scotsman and the Torino, the wing outline, size, shape, and everything were basically identical. Although Jack did design this one with a D tube instead of an I-beam. All right.
Yeah.
Now look at the profile. It's obvious where he was going, where he stole that shape from, right? It's a single fuselage, but you look at that, squint your eyes, it's virtually the same as the Torino.
Well, we've got the Torino up there, Denny. Can you put the Scotsman up?
Yeah, you see the Scotsman now?
No.
Torino.
All right.
Who's playing music?
I gotta figure out how to get there from here. I think I might have to.
That's someone's phone ringer, or what was that?
I like that music. That was pretty something. That was. Stunt music.
Who's in the elevator?
Yeah.
What was that, Steve?
I said, who was in the elevator?
Hey, that sounds like a polka.
That's what I was thinking. Who's playing though? I can't think of the name of that.
Here's the Torino. The Scotsman.
All right.
Yeah, it's the same basic wing.
Yeah, and the fuselage has a lot of the same shape to it also. And then he did something funny. You got to do a double take. You see where the elevator is? It's actually up here. They have an elevator.
Yeah.
But this is that wide elevator like you were talking about.
Got a counterbalance though.
Well,
see where
he overlaid the surfaces. This is
Oh.
actually the leading edge of the elevator, and that's the trailing edge of the stab. He overlaid them.
Oh, he did that so it fit on there.
Yeah, I did about a quadruple take on that. I mean, I had a hard time figuring it out. The span seems smaller, but definitely wider chord.
Yeah.
So I wonder when Jack said he had to widen the elevator, I wonder if he was talking, from
About
the
this
developing
one.
stand. He built the Torino one way and then built the Scotsman later a different way.
Oh yeah, there it is. I got it. Cool.
Yeah, that's one that I want to build too. So
Yeah.
it's a nice airplane.
It's
I
very
don't-
much a Jack Cheeks airplane. It will not be
Isn't it?
mistaken for anything else. That's for
That
sure.
looks
Right.
sharp.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to CAD that one out now.
It's a good looking plane.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you can
Very
see
sharp.
The heck of it is all these airplanes that are Jack Sheik's airplanes are 530 planes.
Or what?
Be number 46. You're gonna out. If you put a 46 or even an FP40 in them, you'll have more than enough power
For sure.
because they were all designed for a Fox 35.
Right.
Well, actually, by then Jack was using Enya 35s,
That's a
but
good-
still, point well taken. It's still.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem you might have is you have to be awful careful. I think about getting them to balance right.
Yeah.
The swept wing would move the CG point farther back, and it looks like a short nose, but with the swept wing, it's
Yeah.
probably effectively longer than what you think. And if you put too much motor in this thing, I don't think you're going to be a happy camper. So.
I kind of think an OS 46 LA would be.
Yeah, the LA 46 though is a boat anchor. That's like a 9-ounce motor.
Is it? Oh.
Is an LA 46 more weight than a Enya 35?
Oh yeah. LA 46 weighs about the same as the Tiger 46. All right.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, if you could find one of those Magnum 36s or Thunder Tigers or something like that, Aero Tigers, then I think now you'd be talking because it's relatively small, light, and just a boatload of power and everything. But,
Yeah.
Would an Enya 29 and an Enya 35 weigh about the same?
Yeah. They're.
I'm going to
the
go down
same
and check. I want to
thing.
see what the weight is. I'll be right back.
Well, Denny, they had the same case, but the cylinder was a little thicker on the 29, so I think the 29 actually weighed a little more than the 35.
Probably does. Got just a little more iron or a little more steel in the cylinder. So
yeah,
well, a little less in the piston. So that.
It's a good looking airplane though.
Or just build it electric.
Yeah, you could build it electric.
Oh, gee, why didn't I think of that?
What do you got there, Mark?
Because you and I don't want to fly electric.
Okay, that's the LA 46.
Right.
That's the Enya what?
Square intake Enya 35.
35. Now,
35.
of course, I got the prop on here, but yeah, the 46 is. Yeah, it seems a little, I don't have a scale in front of me, but yeah, the 46 does seem heavier.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit more material there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You got one of the good ones with a metal backplate.
Yeah, I actually got that from Mike, so he sent that one over.
Hey, since you're showing that Enya, when you're looking at the front of the motor, what side did the baffle go on? Does it go on the left or the right?
It's normal.
Yeah, this is normal.
It was the KMB torpedoes that had it going on the other side.
Yeah.
What the heck prop you got on that thing? My word.
That's a Zor. That's a Zor. That's what me and Charles was talking about.
Yeah, but about a 12-inch one.
No, it's here. Now it's shorter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got a question on this Enya motor that you're showing.
Yes.
When you're looking at the front of the motor, what side does the baffle go on? Does it go on the left or on the right?
If you're looking in the front, it'll go on the right.
Okay.
It's gonna go away from the exhaust port.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what me and Charles was talking about in the beginning. Is I put an 11.4 on it for that profile knobbler.
Oh, okay.
And I was gonna try just to trying to slow down a little bit, but I think it's not enough pitch. I think that's a little bit heavy. And what I found was I hadn't flown about a week and a half. But the last flight was I was trying to speed up a little bit on like the wing overs, just to start my vertical. And before, I mean, they're long and drawn out. I'm still new, I'm not fond of balsa wood mushroom clouds, so So I was just trying to get a little more, like a snap, so to speak, And when I did that with this prop on there, boom, immediate slack lines, and I saw it come in just a little bit, So I think the 4 pitch. Yeah, okay, that makes sense too. We mentioned that, I think maybe it's probably a little bit too much diameter and too less pitch, But I don't know. I'm first time I've ever even dealt with trying to change props,
Drop it down to a 10-inch prop.
Oh yeah, I've got a 10.6 and 10.5 that were working well. It was one of those things where that profile knobbler has kind of been my test bed. It's the first airplane I've done with flaps. It's the first airplane, I'm not going to say it's going to be the Junkster, but I don't mind playing with that for when I get to other airplanes and I really want to make sure and know what I'm doing. That's my test bed, so to speak. So I think my lesson there was too much diameter, not enough pitch. Anyway, we'll see, because it wasn't doing that before with a 10.6.
I think it's a little tied up to the precession, is what I think.
That makes sense. I can make aerodynamic sense out of that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Nice looking engine, though.
I like it.
Yeah. It is that.
Well, I always liked engines that last forever.
I've got another one, and this one is probably it's in its infancy of getting broke in. So yeah.
I've bought them at swap meets that look like they must have been come over on the ark, and you start them up and they'd run just as good as,
This one's starting to run pretty smooth. I'm getting a fairly consistent run. I can't quite get it to break like I want, but I mean, you know what? Just run it a little rich until it breaks in better, I guess. It seems to be the key.
Yeah. Well, some guys in California when I was a kid were running like 10.5s. They were running 10.5 top flights. I was running a 10.6 top flight, and I never had a problem with it. I guess maybe on my airplane, I was flying a Nobler, a green box Nobler. That was the right combination for it.
Yeah, I've got some top flight props, but they're hard to find.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well, they are. They're getting to be made of unobtainium.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your fuel mixture?
On
your fuel mixture when you're breaking your motor in, what's your fuel mixture? I mean, are you running 10% with 28% nitro? I mean, 10% nitro with 28% Castro?
For mine, it's a 10% fuel, and it's every bit, if not more than 28%. It's gooey.
So have you ever tried running that with synthetic and castor oil. Have you ever tried doing that?
Myself, no.
Okay. All right.
Try 20%, 50-50.
Well, I had some Broduct today, Broduct fuel that was 10% nitro and 29% Castro. It ran great, as Charles will agree, but man, it sure spit oil all over everywhere. It made a big mess. It took me almost.
What engine
Excuse me?
Slimer City.
That's
What engine are you running that?
So,
Do that.
Was that a Fox?
excuse me?
Was that a Fox engine?
That
No,
was
no,
an
it's
India.
my India 35.
I don't think you need that much caster in an engine.
Yeah, well, I just got off the
Mm-mm.
Broduct's website, and they got a 10% nitro with 11 point something synthetic and 11 point something castor oil. So I was thinking about trying that and see if.
That'll work.
22%. That's it.
22%.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That's the one.
11-11.
11-11.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob and Billy
Yeah, that's
swears
it.
by that
And then,
stuff.
and then I was also using the OS Max number 6 medium hot glow plug, which worked really well. So.
Yeah, it will.
Good.
That 11-11 is what we used to call Aldrich blend, and it seems to always work in a slug motor. 22% oil, half caster, half synthetic, or 11-11, either way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
It seems to always work.
Yeah.
I had my mix for the McCoys. I've got a bunch of 35 McCoys, that I was running, and for just the lack of words,
Run more caster than that.
Yeah, you want 29 in that.
That's what I have, and I just hadn't changed and mixed any more fuel for the engine. It's just gooey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see I'm going to hurt it. It may not get the best run. Actually, I've got
It's slime fuel, but it works great in McCoys and Foxes every time.
I've got a picture of one of my last flights on India. See if you can guys. At last, I don't think there's a black oil tank in these. Okay, where did I get this?
Oh yeah! Wow, look at that. Black.
You got some metal rubbing on metal there somewhere.
That's kind of what I thought. Now, this was one of the older Indias, and it was
That is black.
It was clear as a bell for I don't know, first 3 or 4 flights, and then I kind of felt a nice vibration, and when it got down, I said, "Wait a minute, since when did we have?"
Oh my God!
Was it? I would suspect
cooking.
where it's at that you're looking at. You had a loose mounting bolt.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. A loose mounting bolt.
That could be, absolutely. So when I took it off and cleaned everything up, because I couldn't find where it was coming from.
Yeah, because the engine doesn't look like it's cooking. I think it's just vibration from the motor on the airplane.
Okay. That can make a lot of sense.
Against the washers and whatever. That's what
Exactly.
the bolts.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Did you have a muffler on that?
No.
You know,
He doesn't have to worry about losing his flying field. He owns it.
Well, that's good.
you know what? When I was a kid in the 50s flying at Milburn, I had a McCoy 35 on it, and Dick Williams, the guy that designed the Electra, was kind of taught me how to run that McCoy, because he ran McCoys. And I used Testers 39. I don't know what the mix on Testers 39 was, but I used that, and that engine was still running strong 3 or 4 years later.
Okay.
Hey guys, I had some comments on the chat box that are part of what we're talking about. Christopher Epperson, he says, "Hey John, have you built or flown the LaDonna?"
I
I
did
the
the CAD plans for the LaDonna, and it's kitted by Walter Umland did a kit of it, and it's a nice looking airplane. I like this. I like the slim, more sexy looks on the Torino, though, than the LaDonna. The LaDonna and the carousel and the gobble schwants, all looked kind of chunky to me. Just personal preference. Nothing wrong with it.
I understand. Now, Alexander Third or Alex Third says, here in Scotland, we do not run the Enya with any synthetic. Read the manual from Enya. They specifically said no synthetic.
I know.
All caster. Yep.
Well, you know, he's right. The manual says that, but I don't know what the new manual for the newer ones, because the synthetics have gotten a whole lot better since the 50s and 60s when those
the metal in the
35s were
motors.
built.
Yeah, the other problem with
Yeah.
that is you can't find any fuel that's less than 29% castor oil and still maintain your 10% nitro unless you're good at mixing your own fuel. So
I think the older Enyas and stuff like that, they don't care what percentage nitro it is. I mean, I think. If you end up with more caster and less nitro, it's probably not a big issue for the older engines.
I was told by Bob Brooks from Florida not to run any more than 10% nitro in the motor. That 15% was too high.
Yeah.
So
There's a caster can be a problem when you get high amounts of caster in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Because it displaces your methanol and you know, your methanol is the other part of the stuff that's firing and making the engine run.
It starts heating up.
And so you can, and so I think you'd probably be fine at 25, 26% caster on an Enya.
Right.
You know,
that makes sense.
That gives you just a little more methanol. You know, now, you know, I totally agree with Alexander. The paperwork from Enya says no synthetics. But, you know, the same thing says with the stalkers. If I run stalkers and they say, you know, it's
no caster.
FAI fuel, no. Well, and it's 17, 18% synthetic. That's all they want. There's a lot of guys running a little bit of caster in there just because they want to. They got it in their mind. They got to have the caster because the synthetics is, you know, we're not that up to these little engines at one point, but they are now.
Okay, Charles, I'm going to do it again. That's all right.
All right.
You had a question from the board, from the chat. That is the Walter Umlin LaDonna.
Oh, wow. That is nice looking.
There it is.
And the funny thing is that if you look at this and compared it to Jim Bornholt's Aeron single fuselage airplane, I don't have a picture of that handy, but it's the same kind of thing. The fins are right off the Aeron.
Wow.
The pointy, the skinny fuselage, skinny rear fuselage.
Whose is that? Is that yours?
Well, this is Jack Sheik's design, but this Walter Umlin's kit.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Look at the Urtnowski wingtips on that thing.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking airplane.
It's a twin-tailed cardinal.
Here you go. It's hard to see. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think I
it is
blow
the
that up
twin-tailed
any-
cardinal.
See the bell crank here?
A
Where?
twin-boom cardinal.
You see the
And
bell
the
crank
outboard-
I'm trying to point to?
Oh,
in
I
the
see it.
outboard
The outboard. I see it. Yeah, it's a nylon belt crank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now take a look. You see this bump here on the boom? That actually
Yes.
covers up the flap horn.
Right.
Ah, cool.
And then push rod to the tail, but I think on just one side.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, and it looks like a skinny little elevator again, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
it does.
Yep, twin-boom cardinal.
Sure does.
Bob Brookins built one of these and flew it at the VSC. It was all yellow.
I think there's a picture of that in. I
Yeah.
found a yellow one in the. Again, there's search tool on Stunt Hangar is great. So
Yeah. Good.
Uh, Can you
Now,
guys
see,
see
you
that?
compare this to the carousel, which is the Mackie and the Gobble Schwantz. Who designed no Gobble Schwantz?
Gobble Swans was let's see, it was flown by Randall. I believe that was a Charles Mackey airplane.
Both of them were Charles Mackey?
I think so.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it was Charles Mackey, the Gobble Swans, and the Crusader. And what was the other one?
Yeah. And I think he may have also done, Carousel. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
I
Carousel,
believe
yeah.
the Carousel was Mackey's airplane too.
He was pretty prolific. Just not many people do it.
Those guys crank those things out like potato chips, you know. Honest to God, between Mackey and Sheets especially, but also Jim Bornholt and the whole Indianapolis area people there. I believe Don Ogren may have been in that area, or maybe it was Bob Randall. Whoever took Roland McDonald's Detroiter airplane. Remember the story? They bought
Yeah.
the airplane, they took it apart, literally stripped it down, took it apart, duplicated it. And they brought out an airplane called the Saturn, which was basically the same airplane with a fuselage gear instead of a wing gear. I think was the only difference versus Roland McDonald's airplane, and that was kind of just started a whole I-beam craze in the Indianapolis area. And then they just started, they were all there, like you say, very prolific, building them like crazy, sitting there, a stack of ribs.
Picking up, Lynn?
Hey, Michael.
What's that?
I thought you
No, I was just waving to Mike.
Oh,
I was
okay.
waving to Mike.
All right.
Hey, Michael.
Well, Dennis, didn't the Detroiter, that was published, but it showed a C-tube or D-tube. Isn't that right? Because they were keeping
it had a D-tube, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to keep it secret what they were doing.
Well, actually, the way I understand it, the magazine editor didn't think the airplane, or didn't think people would build it as an I-beam because it was too complicated or something like that.
Oh, really?
Roland changed the structure to a D-tube, and the way I understand it, he flew the airplane 3 or 4 times for pictures and got rid of it. He didn't want anything to do with it. So, and then later on, he did publish the Challenger, which was the exact same airplane, only now with a trike gear instead of a tail dragger. But outlines, everything like that, all side areas, they were the same, but it was trike gear. So
it's pretty imposing when the first time you sit down to build an I-beam. It really is. But once you do it, it's so simple.
It really is. Yeah.
It's actually much easier than a D tube or a C tube or anything like that. But the only one I think is easier is after it's all molded is Trajan's airplane.
Yeah, that's it. The only way easier is to have somebody else mold it for you. So
yeah,
that works too. So
well, Mike, we don't see no lumps on your head.
Thing about an I-beam.
Get that boat out on Wednesday, huh?
Actually, it was yesterday. That's why I was late. We went yesterday, so I thought today was Sunday for some reason. I don't know why. We usually go boating on Saturday, and I thought today. And Sam and I have been in here building today. We started his Tom Dixon profile vector today, so we've been working on that. We got the fuse laid up with the God, I can't think. The doublers. We got the doublers and a cheek call on it. And then we got the tips, which are all blocks sandwiched together. We got those all glued together. So that's as far as we got today.
Cool.
But he's out of school now, so we should be able to hit it pretty hard every day next week and get something resembling a flyable airplane by the end of next week. So,
very good.
And I wasn't ignoring you, Len. I see you wave at me. I'm on my phone, so my
That's okay.
Brady Bunch screen in tile mode here only lets me see half of you guys at a time.
Hey, Mike, Carl has a question for you because Carl has a combat wing and the control system, the asymmetry, he's having problems with that. Maybe you can, Gordon, ask him, Carl.
Well, I would put my handle in neutral, and then the rudder would be in neutral. But then when I take off and fly it, I gotta pull back on the upline just to be able to fly level. And I don't know. I tried all kinds of different adjustments on it, and I can't get it dialed in.
Okay, so when you got your handle at neutral and the elevator at neutral, it wants to fly down a lot.
Correct.
Okay.
Engine,
Engine thrust line straight. You don't have a bunch of down thrust in it.
Hang
Well,
on, Peter. Hang on, Peter.
Well, what was that, Mike?
Is your thrust line centered? You don't have a bunch of down thrust in it by chance, do you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I had it set up where it flew perfectly. And then for some reason or another, it just went out of adjustment. I don't know why.
What type of wing are you flying? Is this a foamy? Is this a Russian ready to fly?
Yeah.
Something you built?
No, it's one of those planes from the Ukraine.
Okay.
You could cough, or you could chop, whatever you call them.
Yavenko.
Yes, correct.
Has a carbon fiber tube for the boom, Mike.
Okay. Well,
the only thing I can
think. I mean, if you got neutral on the handle and it's neutral on the elevator, it is. So does it have a knitting needle push rod that slides through like a lockdown, like a wheel collar, or does
No.
it have an actual clevis that hooks to it?
No, it just clicks on. It just attaches to the bell crank and comes out the slot on the wing and goes directly to the elevator.
Yeah, but what kind of horn is it? It is. I wish I had my Chromebook.
Well,
the connection is really quick.
It's whatever came with the plane, came with the kit.
Okay, make sure that's make sure that push rod, so that push rod goes through a collar, and then there's a screw that's used.
Correct.
To lock the collar down onto the push rod.
Correct.
Okay.
That's
make
what
sure
it's
that hasn't slipped up.
Hasn't done
make
what?
Sure that is tight.
Yeah.
Make sure that's tight and slipped. I actually had one loosen up on me in Detroit while I was flying, and I crashed a damn plane because of it.
Yeah. All right.
But if you got everything lined up, I don't know why it would be wanting to fly down. You're saying you're having to hold a lot of up in it to keep the plane level?
Yeah.
Make
okay.
When you're
checking level. When you're checking level on the plane, do you have somebody holding the airplane tight and you're pulling on the handle tight? You're not just doing it yourself.
Well,
we
did that, right, Charles?
Yeah. Matter of fact, we had three of us. At one point we had Joe on the handle, and I was holding the plane, and Carl was adjusting the elevator horn on the push rod and making sure that the bell crank was in the center. And then when we flew, he had to hold it up the whole time.
Hey,
okay.
Grab that carbon fiber tube.
You didn't have a line clip twisted or it?
I didn't have what, Mike?
No, I don't think so, Mike.
A line clip twisted or anything like that?
No, I don't think we did. We checked those.
I had one that carbon fiber tube got loose in the fuselage, and you could actually move it out a little bit, and that would change the handle on it.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. That's interesting. Denny wants to contribute. Denny, go ahead, Denny.
I just had two questions. Carl, are you able to maneuver the airplane when you're flying it? Do inside and
Yeah,
outside loops?
I keep when I have to pull on the upline to fly level, and I get it up high and do the the up loop inside, the inside loop, it goes. And then
All
when I
right.
do the down and then when I do the outside loop, it does the same thing,
All
except
right.
when I give it up, it just takes off.
All right.
You know
Does
what I
it?
mean?
You mean it responds better turning up or turning an
Yeah,
inside loop than an outside loop?
it's quick. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. That's where I was going next, Denny. So then you got it's either tail heavy or you got too much up. You need to slide the horn back a little and put a little more down in it. It's turning inside faster than it's turning outside. Then you have more up elevator than you do down elevator.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll try that.
Yeah,
What was
check
your other
that tube
question,
though,
Denny? What was the
because
other thing?
I think when the tube slides backwards, like when air's hitting on the stab, that'll put
Okay.
down into it.
So what tube are you talking about?
That boom, the
That
boom,
boom.
Carl. The
I had
boom.
one that the boom got loose, and it would really mess with the damn thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that. So I'll check that
Because it
tomorrow
would
then.
link. It's like you're lengthening and shortening the push rod on it.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
And we re-glued it, and then it was fine after that. But yeah,
Oh,
you had
okay.
to pull on it, and you could really feel it.
Okay. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Thank you.
Now, Danny has another comment. Go ahead, Danny.
I was just going to circle right back around to Mike's first comment. The thing's screaming downthrust in the motor to me. And I don't know if you've actually measured it or anything like that, but what you might try to do is just loosen all the motor screws, and then try forcing the motor up or down, and see how much slop there is in the motor mount hole, if the holes are oversized or something like that. If it doesn't move,
Okay.
then obviously it's a dead
Yeah.
issue. But it's possible if you loosen something up and then tightened it back up, it could have ended up in a different position. You said it flew, it used to fly, and now it's not flying. Well,
Yeah.
something's moved. So
Yeah. Something's out of whack, and I just
yeah, so
can't
either the
figure out.
motor's moved or what Steve is talking
Yeah.
about, the boom
Yeah.
is moving.
Yeah.
I think Mike's comment about adjusting the horn to get inside and outside. I mean that should have been in play all along, whether it was flying
Okay.
right or not. And
Yeah.
I don't see that making the airplane dive on launch like you're talking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And Carl, I'm not familiar with those Yavenkos with carbon fiber booms, as I think they were old fast combat planes is what they were.
Mhm.
I've seen them, but I have never owned any of them.
I made a mistake.
Everything I've got.
I don't think I have a carbon fiber.
I
boom,
made a
do I?
mistake, Mike. You know what? I was helping Joe Mata,
Oh,
who has the carbon fiber boom, and then Carl,
Okay.
his does not have the carbon fiber boom, so I was my mistake.
Oh,
He has a
Okay.
regular, like a bird feather type of a bird tail
Okay.
feather type
So
of
it's got a stabilator basically right on at the trailing edge of the wing is where your elevator is.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we call them stabilator because the whole thing moves, not just part of it. Whatever. That's semantics. Well, then, okay. If it's that kind of setup, man, that's the only thing I can go back to is down thrust, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
So how
I'll
do you
try that.
how do you verify that on a combat wing?
you
I
know,
mean,
you could.
Loosen all four bolts,
Well, I mean,
pull the
An
engine up,
incident
tighten it back up, see what happens.
An incident meter might help.
It's
yeah, you could eyeball the crankshaft and the glow plug, and make sure you're on the center line with the wing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no real tool for that, I don't think.
Yeah.
I guess you could. You got. You could put a laser on it, and go across the tip and the tail to the crankshaft from the side.
Yeah.
No, I
But
think what you do just put the
that's
prop
really
on it.
weird.
All
Yeah,
right.
you
Well,
can do
thanks.
that. There you go. Tell him, Dennis.
Then you froze.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike. I was walking over you. If you want to measure the thrust line, just put a prop on it. In fact, put an oversized prop on it, just because you get like a 10-inch prop or even 11, not to fly it. Put the
Right,
prop
right.
on it,
Yeah,
and put it the prop straight up and down. Measure from the hinge line to the top of the prop, and then from the
Okay.
hinge line to the bottom of the
Mhm.
prop, and that'll
Okay.
tell you in a heartbeat whether you have up thrust or down thrust.
All right.
Right? Just
Good idea.
basically measure the triangle, and
Yeah.
depending on how it is, the dimension on top is longer than the dimension on the bottom, then you have down thrust.
Okay.
That's right.
And I say if you put a don't you can do it with your flight prop, but if you put a bigger prop on it, it'll just
It'd be easier
increase
to measure.
increase the the
Is it like this one?
No.
No,
No.
no.
Oh,
I,
that
I
has
still
no room
got
on
it.
it.
I still got it in my vehicle. I didn't bring them in tonight, but maybe I should have. But
I got more questions.
sure.
What motor
Go
are
ahead,
you
Mike.
running on that thing? So it's a
I am.
Mako.
No. I am an app.
Is it
An
a,
app.
is it a
Is it a what, Mike?
Go ahead.
Well, you were
Is it
kind
a
of breaking up.
proper speed limit plane, or is it an F2D plane converted to speed limit?
Oh, I
And
don't
then
know.
what is the motor?
Well, the motor is an AFS 25
Okay.
with a
Well,
modified muffler on it.
oh, with a muffler on it?
Yeah.
Too nose heavy.
Okay. Is it?
But that motor,
It's
what
nose
do you call
heavy,
it?
yeah, like crazy.
No, the muffler's up tight. The stack's been cut. That stack's only like 3/8, 5/8. It's not very tall. The stack has been cut, so the muffler is tucked up really nice and neat.
But it's
Yes, it's
still
not
more
a
weight.
stock muffler.
Okay, but it is an ASP 25, which it's a ball bearing motor, right?
Correct.
And it's the 25, so it's the heavier one. Most of the guys using the ASPs on speed limit planes are running the 21, not the 25s, because the 25s are a lot heavier.
Okay.
I mean, my guess is it's a little nose heavy, but that doesn't correspond to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying it'll turn inside, but it turns outside better.
No, the inside loop is just a tad faster than the outside.
Well, that doesn't make sense for nose heavy.
Okay. Well.
How far?
You're
out
muted, Danny.
How far out of the motor from the leading edge? Is it tucked all the way back as far as you can get it, or?
Oh
is there
yeah.
like a half inch between the block and it's all the way back. Okay.
There's no room to play there. So.
Well, it must be too hard to tell if it turns insides versus outsides if you've got to grab the upline with your hand. I mean, you're not doing this. You're doing.
Oh, he's just holding the handle. He's just holding it back when he's flying.
No, instead of having my handle like this when I fly, I gotta bring it up a little bit like this.
Oh.
Okay.
To fly level,
maybe, like
and
Dennis
then
said,
they
put a
get it to
prop on
go up. I just pull back on the handle more.
Oh, I thought you said you had to pull. You had to pull on the upline.
Shorten the upline.
The other thing is, if it's always been that way, then that's a possibility. But if it just changed and it wasn't like that all the time, then it's not anything to do with nose weight. At least not like
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Check for down thrust, and then put
I
a
think
little
that's a good
bias
idea.
in your handle.
I'm thinking more along by saying the thrust line has shifted.
And you might be onto something. Yeah, just check that with the prop like Danny recommended.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I haven't flown that plane, so I don't know how it flies. I just was outside the circle. I could see him
Yeah.
holding it back. But that the incidents might be the issue. Because who knows? You might have crashed it one time and just moved the incidents, changed the prop and didn't notice, and then.
Yeah, well, I did. You know what? That's a good point. I did crash it here last time we went out and broke 2 props. So maybe that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
So, and all I did was clean the motor out, flush it out with fuel, and put another prop on it, fire it up, and took off with it again.
Probably moved.
Okay.
Yeah, if it hit the ground, something's messed up. It ain't like it was.
Yeah. All right. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So, all right.
That's why we get paid
Which
the
is
big
unusual,
bucks.
Carl. Usually, combat planes fly better after you crash them a couple of times. The crappier they look, the better they seem to fly.
Wow.
Well, you know why?
When
You know why that is?
Then you got a bunch of.
Well, you know why that is, don't you? Because the crappier it looks, you don't care if you crash it or not. So you're out there doing crazy stuff with them.
Yeah, you're more daring.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't good.
So,
Guys, let me catch up on the chat. I'm a little
Mike's
bit
got a
behind.
whole bunch of combat planes and they ain't gonna fly worth a crap because they look great.
So,
thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So Jeff Riley, he came in. He says that manual was written. I guess is referring to the Enya manual. He says that manual was written when Cadillac had the fins that were taller than me. Since then, synthetic oil has gotten better, but there's nothing like the smell of pure castor. Absolutely, and don't forget the fresh mowed lawn. You need to have the fresh mowed lawn and the castor, and then you're in stunt heaven. And then Timothy DeBoard says, thumbs up to Mike Blanke. You are doing a great job with your boy, Sam. America needs more dads like you. His videos are the great. And that is real teaching and conversation in action. True parenting. So
Jeez,
props to you, Mike.
We need Mike to get a bigger head than he's already got.
Yeah, really.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, have you looked at that uproar yet?
Well, yeah, I pulled the top off it and took a peek. I tell you, guys, I got a really crappy connection here tonight, so I'm only hearing about every other word.
I think we all do
Yeah.
tonight. So
Mark Lumen wants to say something.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mark.
Steve,
well, Mark, let her rip.
All right, let me see if I can get my hand back up. I'm going to change the subject a little bit. Hey, Denny, we were talking about that castle link last week.
Oh, you Dickens, you got a new one.
It's Bluetooth.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness.
I was just searching around on the castle. Me and Denny had a short conversation last week about the Talon 35, and I've got a KR timer that I'm going to put in the vector. And I was reading on the KR timer site, about if with the KR timer they suggest using like a simple ESC. Yeah. Well, I'd already bought the Castle or the Talon 35, and then I ran across. It said, well, you can still use it, but they give you a setup where you disable the governor function on the Talon 35. Yeah, and I was looking for some type of programming system. I got on the website, and you put it in your phone, and you can
Look at that.
you solder in that Bluetooth connection, and once you get it in and you put it connect your battery, you link the controller to your phone, and you can do your whole ESC setup, and like disabling the governor function for the KR timer works without arguing basically with the ESC. So I thought that was kind of
That's cool.
I
But
mean,
you still run your RPM up and down with the JR timer.
Exactly, and that's the basic idea behind it, so that you still have that RPM gain when it senses load on the prop. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The governor is in the helicopter mode settings. So I believe if you set the ESC and just set it up as aircraft, you're going to be all set.
I believe that's true. I was reading some in the demo mode. The demo mode it gives you, because I haven't sorted it in yet or even had it connected, but you have lots of, basically a lot of the ESCs are there.
Mm-hmm.
But the talons are there, so it was interesting because I needed some type of controller. I was thinking, or excuse me, programmer. And it'll be interesting to see how that works, because then the assumption is, and again, new to this, once you set the ESC once, it's pretty much done. From what I'm reading, but getting the proper setup with that timer, I think, is important. So we'll give that a try.
Yeah.
Be interested to see what you come up with, Mark.
It didn't work. Didn't work for Len Prayan. He lost his connection.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, oh, okay. But yeah, and sooner or later I'll get to the vector. I think I've got projects laid out on the table here from end to end, and just been busy with other stuff. Haven't been able to do it. Yeah. And hey, Phil, or even Denny, do you happen to know? Let me grab the. I redid. I got another spinner, and it said it was a 40 millimeter. But yeah.
How about that?
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that's not big enough.
It's like
that's not big.
That's 51, right? Or need a 51 millimeter.
You got pads under that motor, don't you?
No, not that I know of. I mean, Steve, I just basically just kind of stuck it in there now to start dry fit and everything. So yeah, it's whatever it came with.
How is the width side to side?
It's actually still a little short too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Because I think that thing comes with pads, motor pads, and if you put the motor pads in, it drops the spinner.
Well, I don't know how that would work.
Measure your spinner. Measure your spinner, Mark, when you get it off.
That is what I'm doing. Okay, so it's 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Just
you
under
need 1 3/4.
1 3/4. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
You got aluminum motor pads or phenolic motor pads on that thing, I would bet. Because
no,
it's electric.
Oh, it's electric. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, Mark, they just gave you a weird size spinner.
38.1 millimeters. It's 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of the 40 millimeter, they sent the 38. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So 40 millimeters.
Oh, you need 1 3/4 then.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
If you will call Oki Air, he's got the good ones, and you probably want one that's going to run clockwise instead of counterclockwise.
Okay.
Well, whatever turns you on. I may have one downstairs I can send you. I'll have to look and call you tomorrow.
And that's electric, obviously. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I ended up breaking a vector today.
Uh-oh.
You did what?
Broke a vector.
You drank a vector.
Broke.
What'd you do that for?
What do you mean you broke? You mean you crashed one or you broke one?
I broke one.
Did you run over it?
What'd you do? Step on it?
No. With my back hurt, I must not pick my feet up or something, and I tripped. Hit the airplane, and it snapped something in stab. I had a big crack, and now It's still held together with monocoat, but it has a lot of flex.
Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry to hear that. I mean, it's like you'd rather it happen when you're flying it. You know, I hate breaking my plane without flying it.
Yep. So
Hey,
now I'm
Mike.
gonna have to strip the monocoat, fix it, and then re-monocoat it, I guess.
Well, look at it this way. At least
No.
the thing broke your fall.
I didn't fall. I just tripped and I hit the wing and it spun the whole airplane and the stab caught on I got a propane fancy stove for the basement that's never hooked up and it has slats on it. It caught in that slat and it just went pop. So but yeah, I think that's the one that's only been flown twice. But
At least you didn't stick it into a ceiling fan like I did.
Rather than stripping it down, Steve, rather than stripping the hole, if you find where it's cracked and put some pin, take some CA and just, that's the beauty of thin CA, get some good fresh thin CA, drip it in those holes and then push the thing together, you'll probably be fine. That stuff, it's amazing how much it'll wick. I mean, I don't like CA, but there are places where that's the only thing to use.
From what it
I mean,
looks
it's still
like,
like stripping them down and remonocoating them.
it looks like it cracked it underneath the fuselage and about an inch outside of the fuselage to me, because the one side flexes a lot, but the other one side still flexes. And I checked my other airplane, and both of them are really stiff. So,
What did you break, Steve?
yeah, I think it broke under that top hatch, that little piece that goes on top there. Yep.
What did you break, Steve?
The stab on a Vector 40.
Oh.
Well, what Phil was just saying about CA wicking in, especially if you got the crack like under that block or something like that, that's going to be golden if you can float it in there. You know, right in, that sounds like your best option almost no matter what.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought too. Is that, well, the one thing is that on mine I got tape over where the there's a cutout of the balsa and there's monocoat over it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to get in there and adjust the ball link,
yeah,
I cut that out and just stick a piece of tape over it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can pull the tape back off.
I did.
And try to see from the bottom if I can see that crack. And I did. I know I cut back the monocoat when I glue it in there, so I'll be able to get right to balsa.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I know where the other one is. And yeah, I could probably poke that and try to wet it and see if I can't get that to.
Yeah, all else fails, drill like a 1/16 hole there or something like that. You'll be able to just mainstream the thin CA into it and let it disperse. You know, when it gets into the, hopefully it's all spider webbed and everything like that, and the CA you'll pull it all together.
No, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, I couldn't believe that though. I was in the basement, you know, doing some stuff, and the dog wanted out.
They do funny.
Yeah.
So I let the dog out of the basement, and I was looking for a pair of side cutters, and I thought maybe I put them over on this bench. I went over there and looked. Nope. Walked out, tripped, whack. I'm like, gosh, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, shit happens.
Well,
I'm trying to hang all mine up. I'm trying to start hanging my stuff all up now because I'm tired of tripping.
I should have taken care of it, but what it was when Samantha moved last weekend, I brought a ton of stuff over. I took airplanes, moved them all out where I had them, put all her stuff up against this wall, stacked it up, but I didn't take care of the planes in it. But they were in a safe place before, but I just figured, well, I'll put them someplace else, but I didn't do it. And luckily, there was like 3 other ones right by.
Is this one of your airplanes you broke? I want to see.
It was one of mine. So,
But you're
Well-
all right if it's one of yours. If it's one of hers, you're trouble.
I only got 6 airplanes on the floor right now because Eddie Suter. I met Eddie last week, and he took 3 of them off my hands for me. So,
Ready.
that was good.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a
Haven't seen
big
Eddie in that.
house just so I can put more
Oh.
airplanes in it. I guess I don't know what else to do.
I know the feeling, but I ain't gonna do it.
Did you get frost at your house last night, Tom?
It was really cold. It's been really cold and rainy. We've had rain 9 of the last 10 days.
Let's say it was 30. I think it got down to 38 last night.
Yeah.
Got up this morning and it was like 42 later on, but the wind was blowing about 40 miles an hour. It actually blew some stuff into my mom's yard. I had to go over there and clean it up, and it's like, yeah, freezing cold, spitting rain, and the wind blowing. You know, it's like, yeah, I bet you all these people are glad they took Friday off and went camping.
Tom, I got sunburned and almost ran out of beer yesterday on the boat, man.
Damn.
Oh,
Thank God the marina sells carry out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's been really hot on the East Coast. Like Washington, D.C. was over 97.
Yeah, we were about 86 yesterday, and it was beautiful. And it's raining all day today.
Yes.
Rain
Yeah, we
all
had,
day today.
That was
We had
93 here.
rain and wind the
Yeah,
last 3 days.
that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting tomorrow.
Supposed to get
several
I think
large
Well, we're
outdoor
supposed to
painting-
be getting that for next week.
There's several large outdoor painting projects, but the weather just hasn't cooperated. I can't get them done.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I got 2 that I got a contest next weekend in a plane I was just sure I was going to get to take.
well, we got a
I
heat
get to on
wave
it,
coming
so.
here because tomorrow it's supposed to be up to 66.
Is that North Carolina, Phil? Is that next weekend? Tom Weedman's contest?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, that's it.
Oh man, I
It's
wish
one
I
day
was going.
contest though.
Yeah, I wish I was
Yeah.
going. That one's a little
Yeah,
too
I'm going
far
to- I'm
east
going
in North
I'm going
Carolina for us.
Yeah, I'm going to go judge because I don't have a plane ready. I've got everything almost ready, but just almost nearly, but not quite hardly. So I might take a bug to show it, but I'm not going to try to fly it in the contest. It's not trimmed out yet. And my new old timers, neither one of them are painted. So, it's all right.
How can you have a new?
We'll be there. We'll be there pretty soon, I hope. I mean, it's one of those things. Denny, how are you coming on the plans to the Mobest on the paperwork?
I just keep finding new rat holes, I guess I keep falling into. I thought sure I was going to have it done last week and a week before that, and I'm trying to make the darn thing right. The way it is right now,
Yeah.
to put it out there, and anybody in this room here could build it, but I'm trying to make it complete and doing it all right. And
So
everything
anybody
like
can
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, I
And,
called.
so I keep
called Jan and talked
finding
to her.
nitpicky things that driving me crazy.
Well,
I know what
just,
you mean.
just
Yeah.
send it out the way that it
All right.
is and call it less best.
Send it
Hey,
out
Mike,
Yeah.
any chance you getting out Wendover area? Not Wendover. Anyway, northern Nevada's having a big free flight, rubber and electric free.
We will in a minute.
I'm aware it's FAI stuff. It's a big FAI meeting, 12th to 13th of June. But you're probably going to be at the Nats.
Well, I'll be getting ready for the Nats, and if I ever get to Nevada again, it will be for a free flight contest. It'll be going to visit some of my money in the casinos.
Well, it's close enough to the casinos that you can stay the night at the casino, go fly in the morning, and go back to the casino.
Yeah. I wish I could, man. There's just too many irons in the fire, man. And, free flight for us is just a goof around thing. We're not serious competitors in it or anything.
Okay. Just thought I'd bring it to your notice.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to be transitioning to the after party, but I want to talk about a contest out here in Las Vegas. There's a contest, a stunt contest, November 6th and 7th. This is hosted by the Las Vegas Circle Burners, and to me, it's a good contest because you can take your wife to Las Vegas, and they usually get some pretty good discounted rates on a room, and you could, and even Steven and Ruben, they have quite a few planes, so you won't have to bring a plane. I mean, if you speak to them in advance, you could just arrange, just fly out there and fly one of Steven's or Ruben's planes. Talking about Steven and Ruben McBride. And this is November 6th and 7th. So keep that in mind.
have to look into that.
It could be a fun opportunity to go to Las Vegas, have a good time, fly stunt during the day, and then have your fun at night.
Sounds like
I have the email and I have the flyer and the directions and all that. So if you're interested, let me know. That's anybody out there in the out there listening to it. And I want to just kind of highlight tonight. We did pretty good. We had 30 viewers at one time. We have 23 likes. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that. We don't have any chat revenue, so please consider, if you're watching this or listening to us live, that's the only time you can make a contribution or a donation. So please do that if you can. We'd appreciate it. We don't have any new members. Remember, we do have a YouTube membership, which is only $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And we've had some conversation on the chat. We had good conversations in here. To me, it was just a really good show, really informative, a lot of fun. And today's Friday, so we'll come back Monday, and hopefully we'll have something else to talk about with the Memorial Day. I will still do this, even though it's a holiday. I believe I'll still be doing it. It's my anniversary, so I might not be doing it, but
oh, your name gonna be Mud.
Yeah, I just thought about that. It's our anniversary. So I don't know. I might not be doing that. I don't know. But my wife's really understanding. So anyways, hey, we had a really good show. Thank you very much. Now, you know what? Those who are listening, we're not going to stop. We're just going to transition to no more streaming. We're going to still have a good time. And today's Friday night, so people have to go to work tomorrow. So we usually will stay up and have a good time. And if you want to be able to participate in the after party, you need to be a member of Stunt Hangar Forum and come on in through the link that I post, and then you can come in and have fun in the after party. So consider doing that, and to register at Stunt Hangar, you need to register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Sunset Mary Frank at the end, and doesn't cost anything to join. And you need to have a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of this, will not approve you. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the replay. And remember, I do this every Monday and Friday night, or we do this every Monday and Friday, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's when we have the live stream. So if you're watching the replay or watching this live, thank you very much. And with that, we will see you Monday, maybe.
All right, y'all have a good weekend. Good night, everybody.
Good night, you guys. Thank you for coming in. I will end the stream now. See ya.